everybody, and welcome to the Commander Pod, your Magic the Gathering podcast for all things Commander. I'm Spencer Simpson.
And I'm Kelton Howell. This week, Spencer and I were talking about some cards that we thought were really cool that we wanted to pick up. And that led us to discussing some of our favorite printings of cards, our favorite art, and our blingiest cards. And we thought we would collect some of them and share them on the show. And we each made a list of like 10 cards, and we haven't shown each other. So I'm excited to see which ones you picked as some of your favorite cards.
Yeah, these are some that I already own, but mostly I think these are aspirational. Because for a long time, our collecting of Magic, well, I don't know, I think you as well, was pretty utilitarian in the sense that I was like getting the cheapest version of a card that I liked the printing of, and putting it in a binder and then proxying it in all the decks I wanted to play it. And in the last couple months, really, I've started to want to bling out my decks a little bit. I feel like I've started to acquire the staples that I want, and obviously the release cadence of Magic is absurd, and so that's always growing. But I've found myself not being as excited about getting the next most powerful thing out of the set. Like, I don't need a Ketramose for anything currently, so I'm not like desperate to get a Ketramose. So instead, I'm going to get this cool printing of, I don't know, Silence, or like, and that's not necessarily like a cheap card, but like Disenchant maybe. I have a deck that wants to play Disenchant, and I want cheaper of that. I'm trying to avoid saying any of the ones that I'm going to talk about in the episode, but you get the idea. And I think like for me, one of the big pushes of that was starting to play CDH and playing against people and seeing the cool blinged out versions of cards in their decks, and
that's part of the culture.
Because that's part of the culture that's kind of
CDH,
cool, yeah. And I think like having like artist signed cards and stuff, I think that's really cool. Eventually I think I want to do that. But for now, I think I've always been so excited about playing the cards with cool arts. And I've also, with CDH, putting all my cool cards and cool printings in a deck and playing with them physically just feels different than playing like my proxied version of the cool card. I don't know. I've been more excited about it. So I'm excited about this episode because I don't know. I'm excited to start blinging out more decks. And we actually recently, you've started to downsize, and you convinced me to as well with our decks. And I think maybe that'd be a fun future episode. But so start making more of our decks, downsize our decks that we're not playing and make them more in paper. We advocate pretty heavily for proxying. But I think that's something we've been trying to do more recently too, is like just make our pet decks instead of just like building so many.
Totally. You mentioned when you were talking about CEDH decks, you talked about artist signed cards. One thing that's been really fun in our Discord to see, I mean, our Discord is public, so I guess I can shout out Budgie DH, but he's making a complete deck of artist proofs.
Yeah,
and
of Asmorano, Mardica, Dyson, and Koldakar.
Yes, it's amazing. It's such a cool project, and it's awesome to see his updates on which proofs he's getting to fill in those slots in the deck. And so shout out to Budgie. It's been really cool to watch in the Discord.
Yeah, it's super sick, actually. Very cool to watch. Oh, and he just posted some shadow signed cards too. Oh, that's so sick.
He just got some new ones. They're really, really sweet.
That's so tight.
Awesome. Well, let's jump in. I actually wanted to start with Sol Ring because we had a really fun conversation in our Discord a little while ago where we asked everyone what their favorite printing of Sol Ring was, and it was really fun to hear what everybody said. So I'll kick us off.
Yeah, please.
My favorite printing of Sol Ring, at least one of them. We might talk about another one a little bit later. It's the one from the Secret Lair. I know that maybe Marvel cards in Magic are a little bit of a hot topic right now. People have mixed feelings, mainly due to the limited availability, and kind of the poorly handled execution of the Secret Lair. But as part of the Iron Man Secret Lair, there was a Sol Ring that was the Arc Reactor. And for me, I've been so excited to get Marvel as a Secret Lair. I am not a big comic person, but I have really loved the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's something that, I watched all the movies as they came out with my dad, and Iron Man was always our favorite. And so seeing an iconic Magic card represented in such a cool way for my favorite Marvel character was super exciting for me. So this is for sure one of my favorite printings of Sol Ring.
Yeah, it's a super, super cool one. I like Marvel. I'm not as big into Marvel. I really enjoyed the cinematic universe as well. But I think that's like, and this might be a theme throughout the episode, I think that's what's so cool about like these special printings, and I know there's controversy on the Marvel Secret Lair, but just like cool printings in general is like there's gonna be printings that you think this is so sick, I need it, and I'm gonna be like, oh, I don't really care, and vice versa. Like one of mine
Totally.
is like, I think when I had another copy of the card that was like $1, and then I bought the like $12 version because I was like, this is so sick, and no one else will do that because who cares? But it's like one of my favorite cards, and I wanted that cool art of it, so that's sick. I'm glad you like that one. For me, with Soul Ring, a lot of cool printings. This was kind of tough because there are. It's pretty close for me. The one that I have that I think is my favorite is well, it might. Can I share two? It might be kind of tied. So
Sure. Go for it.
The Commander Collection Black Soul Ring I think is so cool.
So cool. All the candles are like sucking in towards the. Oh, it's so great.
Yeah, I think so. That one I'm like somewhat on the fence on because like it's easy to miss and can look just like a normal Soul Ring art, and then you look closer at it, and it is like creating that vortex of the candles pulling in, and there's like the skulls everywhere. I think it's super sick. But then the other one that I have that I play in one of my decks is the Soul Ring from, it was the Festival in a Box, and I can't remember which one it was.
Oh, cool. The Dan Fraser.
The Dan Fraser one, yeah,
Mox
like
in a
the etched,
box.
yeah, the Mox in a Box etched foil. That one I think is super cool too. I think that's
super cool.
Like, that's.
I was gonna say I forgot. We wanted to shout out the artists for each of these cards too. So for the Iron Man Soul Ring, it's Anna Steinbauer. And I actually looked. I didn't recognize the name, but Anna has a lot of really great art throughout Magic history. So it's been really fun to see their other art as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and for the Soul Ring, I hope I don't butcher this. It's Younghao Han is the one that did the Soul Ring for the Commander Collection Black. So shout out, it's so sick. Okay, so
That's awesome.
what's one of your favorite alternate? So Soul Rings was our primer. Now we're getting into the cards that are our favorite alternate arts, and we don't own all of these, right? Is that, or do you own all the ones that you're going to be doing? Do you have them already?
So I think I have most of the ones that I picked, if not all of them, because the way I picked my favorite printings was I just went through my binders to
sick.
look for the ones that like I've collected that I think are really cool. But there are a lot out there that I want, and either they're too expensive or they have limited availability, or I just haven't found them yet. So on the lookout. I'll share one that is part of a set that I've been collecting a lot recently that I'm very very high on right now. I'm gonna share Opt. And it specifically the Strixhaven Mystical Archive Japanese printing.
Oh, that is so sick.
It is so cool. So this was the first one of this set that I bought. I think there are, how many were there? I think there were 63 cards in the Mystical Archive that were different instants and sorceries. It was a bonus sheet for Strixhaven. And you could open, I think, they were always in the Japanese packs, but I think they were occasionally in some of the English packs. I don't remember how that they were distributed. They had these Japanese printings of them in Japanese language and with Japanese art, which was really cool. So this particular art is by Rien and is so beautiful. And it was the first one that I bought from the set, but I recently gone through and bought a bunch of the Japanese Mystical Archive prints because I think they look so cool, and
they're
really
so
really
cool. They're so cool, and I do like a fair amount of the Mystical Archives that came in the English boosters. But man, wouldn't it have been sick if all of them were these Japanese alternate arts?
The Japanese ones, in my opinion, are a little bit cooler.
Yeah,
I think the art is really sweet. My other favorite
sick.
one that I picked up recently, which I've been very excited about, is the Swords to Plowshares. Which is also like a very cool printing. It's got like a samurai standing in a field, and it's
he's got a plow. He's got a little hoe on his back. Yeah, that's so sick. It's cool. Okay, so this one wasn't on my list. I'm gonna share it because it's literally right next to this one on Scryfall.
Okay,
and it's the Teferi's Protection, and the only reason I recognize it from the Japanese alternate arts for Strixhaven Mystical Archive is because I have a playmat that is this, and it's like my favorite playmat. I take it everywhere, and I think that art is so. I mean, the art of all of these is so cool. This is We could make an entire episode just talking about our favorite arts from only these.
Who did the art for the Teferi's
Oh,
protection one?
yes. The artist was Sotaro. I think that was how you say the name. Yeah, Sotaro.
Very cool. That's
Very
sweet.
cool.
I remember seeing this card and being like, oh, I recognize it from your playmat.
Yeah. That's the reason I was like, oh, this is Teferi's protection. Like immediately one card over. That's so cool. Yeah, this is a cool set.
Very cool.
My favorite one is some cards that I still haven't bought this one. We bought a card that was kind of similar to this one, but it is Lightning Bolt from the I think it was Magic Fest promos. It's the full art Lightning Bolt. It's got looks like the same art of like Dragon's Rage Channeler like falling out of the sky and a lightning bolt like slamming Mogus. It's so cool.
Oh, that's tight. It is Mogus, isn't it?
Yeah, it looks like it's
That's
Mogus being
cool.
just obliterated. It's so sick. And so the thing I will say about this is I love this card. I love this printing of Lightning Bolt. And I recently, and this is, I guess, a warning to people that are trying to bling their decks out, is to be wary of like who you're playing with or if you're going to have people play your decks. Because I thought about putting this in like a mono red deck that I was building because I thought it was so sick. And then I thought better of it because the mono red deck I'm trying to build is like pretty basic, mostly like vanilla creatures or lords goblins deck for helping new players learn. And so I'm trying to do like a cycle of monocolored decks. And I thought, probably not a good idea to put in this textless
card.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I think it's
awesome.
such a sick printing.
But the art is so cool. And it comes, I think the promo was in foil too, right?
I think the promo's in foil. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's super sick. Did you buy a copy of this one?
I did. Yeah.
Oh, it's so cool.
I have it. It's really, really pretty.
Can we also show, while we're on it, the Swords to Plowshares? That's, I think, also was a Magic Fest promo.
It was also a Magic Fest promo or something. Yeah, this one's cool. We can put this one up on the screen for sure.
Oh, just the full,
beautiful.
the no text full art. I did buy one of these.
Nice.
And in the foil, it's so sick. And like, honestly, I think I bought a Swords to Plowshares when the card was $5. And so to get like this super cool art of Swords to Plowshares for like this, like, it's for Swords to Plowshares, I was pretty surprised at how inexpensive
was
it
the
was.
promo Swords to Plowshares or was it Path to Exile? I think the one you're thinking of is Path to Exile.
It's Path to Exile. I was wondering why I was having to scroll up and down. See,
you're like, why can't I find the printing of this card?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, this one was the one from Magic Fest 2020.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, apologies. It is Path to Exile. Oh, and the artists. The artist on the Lightning Bolt is Kekai Kotari. I'll have to pull that up a little bit closer to read it. Chris Seaman is the one that did the Path to Exile. And then the Lightning Bolt was, let me pull up the link again so I can actually read it. I
think you had it right.
Here. It's Kekai
Kotaki.
Kotaki
cool.
with a K.
Nice.
Kekai Kotaki. So cool. The sick arts.
That's awesome. All right. Well, my next one, I'm also going to kind of cheat here a little bit. It's Spark Double, but a very specific printing of Spark Double. So I had a Spark Double that I was running in my decks. And then when Ravnica Remastered came out and they did a retro foil version of Spark Double, then I had to replace the existing version of Spark Double that I had because I love retro foils. I think the retro frame foils look so cool that the details of the star shooting across the bottom in foil and then the outline of the art box and the text box in foil is just like so pretty. It's awesome.
So cool. Yeah, I was a big sucker for like the foil stamp on the bottom of like modern rares and mythics. Like for some reason to me that just like is so cool to have like a little shiny thing at the bottom.
Yeah.
Makes it feel kind of neat. And so I wasn't like a huge fan of the retro stuff, mostly because I didn't play Magic back when it was like the old, like the retro
it wasn't
frame.
nostalgic for you.
Yeah, exactly. But now, like as I've started playing with them and finding some of them, and I think I've bought a couple, I'm like, oh, these are actually so sick.
Yeah.
I just think that the old look on those is really cool, and I think the swamp border I think is super cool too.
The black one is so awesome. Yeah. So shout out to Eric Deschamps for the sweet art on this one, and keep printing retro frame foils. I'll keep buying them.
They're so cool. Yeah, I'm trying to get the Eldritch Evolution that they just did and the Hullbreaker Horror.
Super tight.
Yeah, very. I want some of those from the Innistrad Remastered. Okay, my next one is probably the first card that I ever got that I was like, this is sick. And it made actually I think it's the second Secret Lair I ever bought. So I take that back. And it's the Kellogg's Loops is the artist, and it's the Kellogg's Loop Mystic Remora.
So
Oh my
cool.
gosh, I remember seeing this card, and this is still back in the time when we were like being pretty utilitarian, right? So there's gonna be some of yours that you list that I'm gonna say, oh man, I wish I would have bought that. Why did I not buy that one? But it's because at the time I was buying Secret Lairs mostly because if they were like outvaluing in terms of like the value of the cards.
Yeah, so you didn't have to buy the singles.
So I didn't have to buy the singles. Exactly. Yeah. And this one just so happened to be like the coolest printing of Mystic Remora. And it was when Mystic Remora was like, hadn't been printed a bunch. So it was still like, $15
so
or whatever.
Cool. I was so excited because, like you said, it was like I was in you and I were in the same time period of collecting Magic where we were trying to acquire a bunch of staples. And you had bought an extra one of this Secret Lair, and you let me buy it off of you. And I'm still super grateful for that because I didn't have a Mystic Remora, I didn't have a Burgeoning, and the art in the Secret Lair was just like so insane. It's still one of my favorite cards in my collection.
Oh yeah, I love it. I'm so jazzed that I got this one. I had the foresight, I guess. I don't know. It's just so sick. I know there's controversy on Secret Lairs, and honestly, I'm in the same camp as a lot of people. Like more and more these days, I'm like less interested in them. I feel like, unless I feel like the art is like super super cool. I'm buying them more for the art these days than anything else, especially if it's a card that I'm interested in. But yeah, this one happens to kind of tick both boxes for me in terms of like something I'm gonna play, a playable, powerful Magic card that's also just like sick art.
Love it. That's awesome. All right, my next one. We're hauling through these, but my next one is Jet Medallion.
Oh, this one was on my list too.
No, it's so right from under you.
That's okay. That's so good.
So I didn't have any of the medallions until they got reprinted in Commander Masters, because they were just like priced pretty inaccessibly. And when Commander Masters came out, I bought a set of all 5 medallions. And then pretty soon thereafter, Modern Horizons comes out and has these borderless medallion arts that are just so cool. And so I immediately sold all of my medallions from Commander's Masters and bought the full set of the 5 borderless ones from Modern Horizons. And I love these. Jet Medallion's my favorite. And then probably Pearl, Emerald, Sapphire, and Ruby, if I had to rank the borderless.
I'm pulling up the borderless ones really quick.
They're so tight. And Jet Medallion, like I said, I think is the coolest. And the smoke like going out over the title is awesome. They're so cool.
So sick. Yeah, the smoke going over the Jet Medallion is my favorite too. Like it's so like creepy and dark. Yeah. And the person looks like they're like kind of like laughing weirdly.
Yeah, like crazed. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, so good. That's such a sick
awesome.
one.
It just reflects like black so well, and kind of like it's not a ritual, but it like acts like a ritual in that like it makes your stuff cheaper. Like it makes you can like do more, but there's like a price that you're paying kind of for it. Yeah. And like that's like represented like in the art so well.
Yeah, so good. Cool. Yeah, that's so sick. I need to buy one of these because it's my favorite one of the cycle. Really cool. All right, let me cross that one off my list, and we'll go to the other 6 black cards that I have on my list. Starting with Sacrifice, but the special guests from Duskmourn, the special guest copy of Sacrifice. Yep. So let me copy this in here so you can see the image of this one. Yep. This is the one I was talking about. I had bought this card Sacrifice before the bans of like Mana Crypt and everything like that, when it was like relatively cheap because no one like cared about it. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know this was a special get. I didn't know this was part of it until I like just was on TCG Player and I was like, I wonder if there's any cool. I was actually going through my Tassiger deck, looking at my cheapest cards to see are there any relatively inexpensive printings of cards that I could like bling out just to like get a sick foil of it in my deck. Yeah. And I found this Sacrifice and I was like, holy crap, this art is so cool, and I love.
It
I'm
is
gonna
so
read.
cool.
Can I read the flavor text on this one?
Yeah.
So it says, cultists eagerly undergo the rite of the threshold, allowing Valgavoth to feed on their fear and bind them to the essence of the house. So it's like this cultist with like a moth-looking, like Valgavothy vest, just like walking into the maw of Val. It's so cool, and the purple is so like sick. David Palumbo, shout out. This is a sick art. This is my
It's
favorite.
so cool. Oh, I forgot to shout out Sean Vo for Jet Medallion.
Yeah.
Retroactively. I was going through my binder and I saw my sacrifice and it's not the special guest printing, and then I was like, dang, maybe I should upgrade. This is so cool.
Oh, it's so cool. And like the original sacrifice is like cool. I think this printing is just like so sick. Oh man.
That's awesome. Very cool.
Okay, go ahead. Yours. Let's hear it.
Okay, well, you said that you have a lot of black cards, but I'm gonna steal one as well.
Okay.
Micaeus the Unhallowed.
Oh, dude. Yes.
Specifically the portrait art from Commander Masters. I loved the portrait art style, and I know not everyone did. I know that one was, there was a good amount of people who didn't really enjoy the portrait arts. I think they're so cool, and I do for a lot of cards. If they are available in the portrait art, then I will pick them up in the portrait art. And this one, I think, is one of the coolest ones. The pose, like the way that you can see like the filigree on the armor and the scepter and like the colors, like it's all just so good. And Micaeus is such a cool card too.
Oh,
so I thought this one was a home run.
This one's so tight. And actually, you know what's funny is we were talking about alternate arts, and I told you before we started, I actually might have one on my list that's not actually an alternate art, but just the original art of a card that I love. And it was Micaeus the Unhallowed.
No, I stole another one.
No,
from
it's
you.
not on my list. I didn't put it on my list because we decided to do alternate arts. But like,
Nice.
This one is so sick, and like even just the original printing, I think Micaeus might be one of like my favorite cards of all time. Like
Cards,
the whole
period. Yeah.
Yeah, the whole like Shadow Priest vibe. I played like Hearthstone, and you could do you could do a Shadow Priest build, and it was terrible, but I thought it was so cool that I wanted to make it work. But it's always been
you
my
have the
vibe.
normal printing. Which printing do you have of Micaeus? Is it like the original Dark Ascension one, or is it like the Ultimate Masters one?
I have the Ultimate Masters one, which also
Cool.
is like my favorite set symbol as well. So it's
tight.
like
Ultimate Masters is so cool. I also love the Dark Ascension one that it doesn't have like the Legends crown, and it just like looks very like kind of like old and like
yes.
straight out of a crypt. I don't know. It's cool.
It's
That's
so
really
yeah,
tight.
the art even is like faded a little bit.
Yeah.
That's really cool. We'll have
Sweet
to
card.
put those ones. We'll have to put those ones up as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so the way I did this is I looked through some of my decks and thought, okay, what are some of the cards I thought were cool? Kind of at the end, I started by going through like secret layers that I was like, do I wish I would have bought some of these? Like, which are the sickest ones? And then when I thought about sacrifice, I was like, oh yes, this is a special guest. So I went through all of the special guests because they're so cool, and there's so many that I didn't know about. And this one is one that I really want to get, and it is. Well, let me copy it and send it to you again. Sorry, that's happening behind the scenes, but I keep forgetting about it.
While you're doing that, Micaeus the Unhallowed, Benjamin E. is the artist for that one.
Sick art. So this special guest is from. I had it written down here. It is the Murders of Karlov Manor's special guest, and it is Victimize.
What? I've never seen this art before. This is so cool.
No, isn't it so sick?
Oh, it's gorgeous.
So I'm just gonna on TCG Play really quick look up how much one of these is because I'm gonna buy one right now.
$12.
Oh, it is.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man, it's so sick though. This is
I
like
can see why.
hands down my favorite Victimized printing. I think it's so cool.
So cool. Man, I'm gonna have to keep my eye out for that one. If I can find that for like a trade or something, that would be awesome.
Dude, can I tell you the worst thing about it is guess how much a foil one is? It's
I know,
$40.
it's like almost 40.
Oh, it's such a sick Victimized printing though.
That's
Just
so
like
cool.
these demons coming out of the shadows. That's
Wow.
so sick.
I'm gonna keep an eye out for that one.
Yep.
I'm gonna watch the trade binders for that one.
Yeah,
the
baby,
special
I think
guests
it's
are like
sick.
pretty rare, right? It's pretty hard to find like a specific printing, like a
I think so.
specific.
Are they only? They're only
special
like
guest.
collector boosters and like.
No,
box
because I've opened
toppers,
one in
or-
a draft before.
Oh yeah. Well, our friend just opened one. Opened the
Oh yeah, the Chrome
the
Mox.
Chrome Mox. Yeah,
Yeah, from
that's
Ether
right.
Drift.
Yeah, they must be exceptionally rare then. I don't really know
Yeah.
what the vibe is, but I
Oh,
think
that's
this one's
crazy.
sick. This is the one that I
Sick.
want.
Super cool. Okay, well, my next one
Oh,
is a
sorry. Let me
secret
shout
lair.
out. Let me shout
Oh, yeah.
out the artist. Artist. This is also Kekai Kotaki.
Okay, you might
Same
have a
as the
new
lightning
favorite
bolt.
magic artist.
Oh yeah, Kekai Kotaki crushes.
That's awesome. All right, well, this next one is from a secret lair, and I do think it's one of the ones that you didn't pick up and you wish you had. This is Lightning Greaves by Danny
Yes.
Pendergast. This is the Through the Wormhole secret lair, and we'll probably just have to end up showing all of the cards from the secret lair
Yeah.
because they're phenomenal, and I love all of these. But the Lightning Greaves, the Lightning Greaves and the Soul Ring are my two favorite out of this secret lair. But the Lightning Greaves I think are so cool, like the concept of them being rollerblades. Basically, so I bought the playmat
Sick.
of this art because I love it so much. I think it's so cool.
This is sick. Well, actually, I was going to say when we're talking about favorite soul rings, I was going to include this one in here, but I figured that you'd be talking about
That I was going to talk about the secret lair because it's one of my favorites.
100%. Yeah. It's so cool. It's so. I mean, the whole art from this one is so sick. If I could go back, I would have bought this one just to have
Just
the
for the
art
art.
for it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
so tight.
And all the art was by Danny Pendergast. It looks like it was really great.
Yeah, that's so sick. Well done, Danny. My next one is a card that I've actually never played before.
Oh, okay.
I've never played it in a game of Magic,
But we're a fan of the art.
but a fan of the art, and it's
Oh yes.
it's Counterbalance from the Draw Your Hand secret lair.
Yeah, this one's sweet.
Oh, it's so cool. Like, I think Counterbalance is just a cool card, and I think the art in the original Counterbalance is so sick. But I just really loved the vibe of this card. And this is actually kind of like my favorite secret lair, where it's like a favorite type of secret lair. I feel like I've seen a lot of these that are like, I guess a lot of them are full art, but you know what I mean? There's like not a
Like the
traditional
poster
magic.
art?
Yeah, it's not a traditional
Yeah.
magic frame, and like there's poster art, I think is the way to put it. But I like it feels like it actually doesn't feel like a magic card, even though it is a magic card. I think that's like some of my favorite types of art. So this one
Super
is
cool.
Yeah, and I just like the pastel-y and like matte like art on it.
And,
I just think it's
and you actually gave me one of these as a gift to go in my CEDH Glarb deck.
Yeah,
and
in the CEDH Glarb
I love this
list.
card so much. It was
heck
such a kind
yes.
gift.
I'm so excited to see it play. Dude, it's so disgusting in Glarb.
Oh, it's so cool.
This
What a
is
sick
by
card.
Rope Arrow. Rope Arrow. I don't know if that's actually like how you say it. I apologize.
But way to go. We love the art.
Way to go. We love the art. Absolutely.
That's awesome. Okay, my next one is from an artist that I think is one of both of our favorites. And that is Jetmir's Garden by Dominic
yes.
Mayer.
Yes.
So Dominic Mayer did all 5 of the triomes in the borderless treatment. And I opened Jetmir's Garden in foil, and it is just like so gorgeous. And Dominic Mayer is one of my favorite Magic artists. I think like he's really, really talented, and a lot of his art has like this like cool like geometric abstract vibe. So I collect a lot of his cards, the art from his cards, because I think they're super, super cool. And this one I felt was a good representation of Dominic's work, and one that I personally loved because it was an exciting card to open for me.
Yeah, well, so Dominic Mayer, I also love, one of my favorite artists. But you turned me on to Dominic Mayer because when we first met, you were in the habit of having a clear phone case and keeping your favorite current Magic card printing in the back of your phone case.
And was it Thirst for Discovery? Was that
it was Thirst for Discovery?
That's
yes.
so cool, and I do love that art. It's still one of my favorites. I think it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it was really cool. In fact, I think we did a draft, and in literally the next set, Dominic Mayer did an art that looked really similar to Thirst for Discovery, and I was like, "Oh, this is also Dominic Mayer." You're like, "Yeah, he's sick, huh?" And it really turned me on to how cool Dominic Mayer was. Yeah, so sick. I was just looking through some of Dominic Mayer's arts. He did the Mana Crypts, the special guest Mana Crypts.
Yeah, he did.
Holy crap, dude! What I missed out getting one of those. That's so
Dude.
sick.
I don't know. Now might be the
Yeah,
best time to pick one up.
true,
Because
true.
I actually did pick up one of these in a trade, and was super super stoked. I have just like the normal Dominic Mayer Mana Crypt, and it's so sweet.
It's
The
so
art is so
tight.
cool.
It's gone up a ton. Still back. It's
Yeah, I
rebounded.
mean it's like $20 less than when I picked it up. But
That's crazy though. It's definitely rebounded. The announcement of potential unbannings in April has caused some of
Oh,
these
yeah.
to
Have
rebound
you seen
pretty
how much
heavily.
Hole Breacher is right now?
No, is it gone up a ton too?
Yeah, let me pull it up really quick. Little sidebar here. It's like $6.
Oh, that's not bad.
Well, I mean, it was less than $1.
Yeah, that's true.
And I don't think Hole Breacher's getting unbanned. That's just
Honestly,
just
I
a lot
think
of
some of the
cope.
CDH community would be like would say to unban Hole Breacher.
I mean,
just
I would because I think it's cool.
Yeah, I mean it's a sick
Yeah.
card.
I think it's fun.
Okay, this next one is my first secret lair I ever bought.
Ooh.
And it is let's see here. Sorry. It is Blood Moon from the Secret Lair X Mischief Secret Lair. This art, we're going to show it on screen, and you'll see what it looks like. But this is like foil. So it's like a gold foil Blood Moon. It's so cool. I
So
love
cool.
the art on this one.
This
whole
secret lair
is
was
so sick.
I almost put the Swords to Plowshares from the secret lair on my list as well because it's so cool and has like a
so
very
cool.
similar gold treatment to it.
Yeah, it's like I love the like again, this is like doesn't look like a traditional Magic card, but clearly is a Magic card and has like the mana symbol and stuff on it. And I don't know, I think this one's so sick. This one,
Yeah, it's really sweet.
that's
It's
my
cool.
favorite. And again, this is one I bought for value because at the time Blood Moon was like $20, and so I was like, I want a Blood Moon.
Yeah. No, this
So-
one's sweet. I also think I bought this one off of you.
I think you might
I
have.
think you had an
This
extra
is-
one of this one as well.
Yeah, I didn't have a lot of people that I was playing Magic with at the time on a regular basis, and so I was often buying like a secret lair that I wanted, and then like a foil version of it or something, like trying to get to like free shipping basically.
Sure, yeah.
To,
Well,
like, you know.
Thank you for doing that because like
Yeah,
two of my
heck
you helped me score two of my favorite secret lairs.
Well, I'm glad because they're freaking sick. And one of
They
my
are
cards
so
later is one that you helped me score, so I think we're
Awesome.
more than even on that front.
Okay, well, my next one, the art is by Micah Huygen is going to be my best guess at how to pronounce her name.
Oh yes,
This is the poster art for Gandalf the White. So during the holiday release of The Lord of the Rings, they did some special edition collector boosters. And inside of them, you could open poster art of some of the cards. And when they came out, I looked at all the poster cards, and my favorite one was the Gandalf one. I thought it was the coolest. And at the time, I think I picked it up for like $6.
Oh, yeah.
And since then, anything Lord of the Rings special edition has gone kind of through the roof. So I'm grateful that I was able to pick it up at that time because I definitely would not justify picking one up for $60 now. But the art on this one is still one of my favorites. Like you were saying, like kind of the poster treatment where it doesn't look like a traditional
Yes.
Magic card. I do really like. These ones are actually kind of hard to read. So I actually don't play this in a deck, but it's in my collection because I think it's so cool. It's just near impossible to read.
Yeah, this is the type of thing that like, and the same goes with like well, this one's a legendary creature, which I think helps because like if you were to
Yeah.
play this as a commander, this is the type of thing where I would like have this and then also like a regular.
Also
Prince
of the
Gandalf.
regular one. Yeah,
Yeah,
for
exactly.
sure.
Which I think is huge for this type of for a legendary creature specifically. Really helpful in Commander, but some of these is like tough. I actually was going to maybe pick one from the secret lair that Micah Huygen, is that the
Yeah, it's the artist.
yeah, it's the artist that I think they did all the art for these ones. It's the Tales of the
Oh,
Time Stoppers
cool.
secret lair.
Yes,
That's like
that was awesome
Nexus
art
of
as well.
Fate and like Time Stop and stuff like that.
Yeah, I actually have the Time Stop as well. It's a really, really cool card.
Oh, that's so sick. Yeah, this is one that this is predating me buying stuff because I like the art. I do think, though, for me, it has to be like a combination of I like the art and I want the card. You know what I mean? Because Nexus of Fate, Beacon of Tomorrow's, Time Stop were not cards that I was like, oh, I need these. You know,
won't
so I
play
couldn't
those.
just right, exactly.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, shout out this art. Your art style is so cool. These are sick.
It's so incredible. I'm just looking at the time reversal one. It's like so cool. It's got
That's
like this
awesome.
crazy hippogriff thing. Yeah, it's awesome.
It's so tight.
Very cool.
Okay, I did the Blood Moon already. The next one on my list is a continuation of the black cards. We're back in the black cards. It is. I need to be getting these ready to send to you before I start talking about them. It's Reanimate from Commander Collection Black.
Yes.
Ugh, I think this art is so cool. I think Reanimate's such a cool card. I think this art of it, though, is just like fantastic. Shout out Nils Ham.
Oh my gosh. Niels, I don't know if it's Ham or Hom, but like Niels Ham has done like some of the coolest art in Magic. Like so incredible.
Where is Niels Ham from? Oh, it's from Germany. That's so cool. I apologize for butchering your name. If you were Danish, I was going to be very embarrassed that I butchered your name. So I'm really glad that.
That's awesome.
Anyways,
super cool. This was a banger. I should have picked up the Commander Collection Black because it's got some awesome art. It also has the Toxic Deluge that has Yawgmoth as like the god in his like god form.
Yes,
which is really crazy.
Yeah. Oh, it's so cool.
That's cool.
I like this one a lot. I got this one for a screaming deal, so I was pretty stoked. That's another reason I like it.
That's
is that I didn't pay through the nose for it. This was sick.
This one's really cool.
Yeah, I like this whole set. I'm just looking at the rest of them. I think they're sick. Sorry, go ahead.
Very cool. Okay, I'm going to go to my second to last one. This one was one that I chased for a really long time, and then I was so grateful because one of our friends in our playgroup actually had one in their trade binder. And I was able to trade for this card that I've been chasing for a really long time. And it's Elesh Norn, Mother of Machines, and the art is by Junji Ito.
Sick.
This card is so cool. So Junji Ito, I actually don't follow Junji's regular work. But as I understand it, they are a horror manga artist, and they mostly do like these horrific, kind of scary, spooky scenes. And special shout out for another card, you actually gifted me a Doomsday from the Junji Ito Secret Lair, which is also one of my favorite cards and had made the list. But I figured I would do a twofer and stick it in the same slot as the Elesh Norn here. But I was so excited when this card came out because I thought the Elesh Norn card was so cool, such a cool card design. I wanted to build it as a commander. I didn't because I like my friends. And but I did see this printing of the card and this art, and I knew that I wanted to try and pick this one up at some point. So I was super excited that I got to trade for this one.
Yeah, this one's sick. And I'm really glad you traded for it because then I got to trade for your Elesh Norn.
Yeah, that's true. Then you got the other printing.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's sick. Yeah, well, I think what ended up happening is you had been planning on building this as a commander, and then you played a game against an Atraxa deck that I had built, and I played Elesh Norn once, and you were like, oh, wow, this sucks.
Yeah, I can't build a commander deck around this. This is horrible.
It's okay, for those who haven't played against Elesh Norn, Mother of Machines, it's astonishing how many cards are enters the battlefield effects.
Yeah.
Like, it's astonishing. And so you end up like
it just inadvertently shuts down so many things in people's decks.
Yeah, it does. It's crazy. It's baffling.
Because I just wanted a Panharmonicon in the command zone.
Yeah, right, exactly.
But it turns out that it also really hoses a lot of other stuff.
Yeah, the other side of that, the fact that they have to make Phyrexians do a good thing for you and a bad thing for other people makes this one especially rough.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Okay, this next one is an additional poster treatment. This is one that you gifted to me for a Christmas gift a long time ago, and I just sent you I meant to send you the image, and I sent you the link instead. It is Necropotence from the Secret Lair Christmas countdown advent calendar.
Yeah,
that's what it's called.
This one's sweet.
Oh my gosh, this Necropotence is so cool, and again is a card that we'd proxied, and so I'd had proxied versions of Necropotence that weren't this cool printing that I'd played for a long time. And then I put together my Tasigur CDH deck. I got to play with it. The one you gave me, by the way, gifted me, is foil, and there was like, I don't know what the chances were that you got a foil in one of these, but it was like you had a chance of getting a foil or not in your countdown calendar. And oh my gosh, whenever I draw this Necropotence, I get so stoked because it's such like a gorgeous art, and it's so black without being black, if that makes sense. Like, it's like, fits
the art
vibe
is like blue and yellow, but it's like such a black card.
Yes, exactly, totally.
Cool.
Oh, I love it. I think it's so sick. Shout out to Rafal Vektorovich.
Yeah, you got it.
Was that pretty good?
That was pretty good.
Is the CZ a ch sound?
Yep, it is. As far as I know. Also, their artist name is also Too Many Skulls, which is very fitting for
Oh,
this
really?
art.
Oh, that's sick. Oh my gosh, yes. Oh, the Anguish Unmaking that they've done is so cool too.
That's cool.
Oh, that's tight. Very cool.
Nice. All right,
Okay,
well, I'm coming down to my last one.
Okay, yeah, I've got my last one right after you too.
I think you know what my last one's going to be.
Ooh, really? Okay, of course. You didn't talk about
Dark
this one. Of course,
Ritual. It is Dark Ritual from the Frank Frazetta Secret Lair.
Oh my gosh.
I looked it up at one point, and I'll have to say I don't remember the full history, but as I understand it, Frank Frazetta was like a fantasy artist and who is deceased, is not currently living, I believe. Apologies, Frank, if that is not the case. But
no, you're correct. I just looked it up. You're correct.
Yeah, and they did a Secret Lair of a bunch of his art. So he did not make the art for the Secret Lair. They took a bunch of his art that he had done from his career and used them for Secret Lair printings. And probably the coolest one is this image of a skull, a dude with a skull doing some crazy ritual thing. And it's so cool. And I love that there's no flavor text, and the text box is just add black, period.
Oh,
and like that's
so
the whole
cool.
thing. It's just this whole card from start to finish was like done so well. So this is definitely near the top of my list.
Yeah, and it also costs $100. So
I cannot believe that. I mean,
it's
like
the worst part of that.
Well, and what's funny is like I got this Secret Lair once again chasing value because I didn't have a temporal manipulation, and that was one of the cards in the Secret Lair, and I was like, yeah, like by the time I buy the temporal manipulation, if I bought it as a single, I'm like halfway to the cost of the thing, and the art's pretty cool, so I should just get this Secret Lair.
Yeah,
and now I'm like so grateful that I did because this has become my favorite Dark Ritual printing, and it's been a very fun include.
It's so sick. And you know what's funny is I specifically didn't buy the Secret Lair because I had opened a temporal manipulation.
Yeah. Yes.
From like a list slot in a booster, and I was like, oh, I don't need a temporal manipulation. I don't need this. And now I'm like, I should have bought this in foil 5 times. What is wrong with me?
That was like the big hit for the Secret Lair, right? That was like the
temporal
major
manipulation.
reprint value.
Yeah. Everything else was like pretty mid in terms of value.
Yeah.
Well, now except for the Dark Ritual, which
except for the Dark Ritual. Yeah.
Holy crap, so freaking cool.
All right, what is your last one?
Okay, my last one is one that I don't have and that I do want. And I rediscovered it while looking for this, but I saw this one a while ago and didn't know it existed. And I keep forgetting to copy it and send it to you. I apologize. So my cadence is screwed up. It is Grave Titan from the Kaldheim Secret Lair.
That's so cool. By the artist God Machine. That's pretty metal.
Oh my gosh. And the art's so metal too. It's like
that's
a
so
giant
cool.
horned zombie or giant with a bunch of skeletons and zombies running around. It's so cool. I want this art pretty bad.
That's so cool.
Yeah, Grave Titan.
Is that one like it's not like
it's not unreasonable, I imagine.
Prohibitively priced. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me look up the foil. How much is the foil? Because I think I'd want a foil
like 14.
of this. That's not too bad. That's about, frankly, it's about what I paid when I bought a Grave Titan.
The first time?
Yeah.
Before it got reprinted like 3 sets in a row.
Yeah, exactly. So.
Yeah.
That's super sick though. So I kind of want this
so
one.
Cool. I love that the Titan, like his horns are like just a silhouette. It like
Yes.
adds so much like drama and contrast to the art.
Yes, it's so cool. And behind him is like the light from fires, and yeah, it's just so sick.
Yeah.
Shout out God Machine. This
Yeah,
art's
it's
tight.
super cool. What a cool card to bring us home. That's awesome. Well, thank you all so much for listening. Hopefully you found some cool cards that you might want to slot into your decks. We would love to hear what your favorite printings are. If there is some art or a particular printing that you love, let us know in the comments. Let us know in our Discord. You can always come join us there. And if you didn't already see in our Discord, we're actually having a get-together tomorrow. If you are nearby, we are going to be at the Game Grid in Lehi, Utah on Tuesday, March 18th. It's the 18th, right?
18th, I believe. Yeah.
Okay. At 6:30 p.m.
I'll
You
double
can
check.
find more information in our Discord in the events channel.
Yeah, so please come join us there if you're local. We'd love to see you. Hopefully, this has sparked interest in some artists that you want to check out. This has been really cool for me, even to like have talked about this, and because sometimes it's easy to look at the art and not say who did this art, what other cool art have they done, and so it's fun to do that as well. So everybody, thank you for listening. Thanks for joining us. Please remember to like and subscribe. And until next time, remember to always be the one.